Hello and welcome to another Cliff Reviews Art House. This time I'm reviewing Anatomy of a Fall, directed by Justine Triet. This is a good old whodunit, but it feels fresh and contemporary. And at 2.5 hours it does a great job of keeping it interesting. It didn't feel too long at all. This is about a couple that live in a mountain chalet with their blind son. The couple are both novelists, one successful and the other not. The not successful one, Samuel, is found in a pool of blood, having fallen out of a window at the top of the chalet. His wife Sandra is the chief suspect, although there isn't any definitive evidence either way. Sandra is played by Sandra Hüller, who was in the film Tony Erdmann that I loved. She's a fantastic actress. As I say, I really enjoyed this as a whodunit. It keeps it interesting as the investigation and then the court case unfolds. But it does feel like it's so much more. I think it's really clever writing that is working at several levels. Sandra is being interviewed by a student at the start of the film, and they're talking about the extent to which you can write about something that hasn't happened to you. It's also about professional jealousy within a marriage and the impact of guilt in a relationship. I think one of the main themes is about what the truth is and how our perception of a situation affects the way we interpret facts. It's clear that there isn't clear evidence in this case, yet the lawyers and the various expert witnesses all have to present their arguments and evidence with certainty. In the end, you realise how people make a judgment depending on what side they're on, and then they find the evidence that confirms what they think. I think this is the conclusion of the film. The lawyer tells her early on that whether she did it or not is not the relevant factor, and at the end the son makes a decision whether he believes that she's innocent or not, which critically affects the outcome. Hüller's portrayal of Sandra is excellent. She really captures the character's multifaceted nature with a performance that's subtle and powerful. I felt for her at times, but at other times I didn't really like her. At times I trusted her, but then others I didn't. I thought she played the part so well, and I think the writing contributed to her multidimensional character. All of the acting was good in this film. I particularly enjoyed the performance of the prosecuting lawyer. The cinematography principally used very close shots. I was actually sitting in the front row of the cinema at that screening, and we often have a character's face filling the whole scene. I really liked this. Not only did it create tension and drama, it also really showed us Hüller's superb acting. The film's strength lies in its ability to maintain a fine balance between being a courtroom drama and a psychological study. It meticulously details the investigation and trial following Samuel's death, providing a scathing critique of how personal narratives can be misconstrued and manipulated in the public eye. The courtroom scenes are particularly effective, highlighting how Sandra's character is judged, not only on the evidence but also on her personality and likability, perhaps a commentary on societal biases towards women. In one way, the film adopts many of the tropes of a conventional thriller. We're drip-fed facts as the case develops. There's a mix of the investigation, the courtroom, and some flashbacks. We gradually learn more and more, but we're constantly left with needing to know even more. In conclusion, Anatomy of a Fall is a really enjoyable film, and I highly recommend it. As a final comment, I'm going to give a very small spoiler. I'm not going to say whether she did it or not and what happens in the trial, but I am going to make a comment about how I felt at the end, so switch off now if you haven't seen it and you don't want a mild spoiler. I did feel a bit frustrated at the end. I really wanted a bit more certainty around the conclusions. I like films with ambiguous endings, but this one bothered me slightly. Apparently, Hüller asked Triet if Sandra is guilty or not, and Triet wouldn't tell her. At the same time, although I was a little bit frustrated, I do think it's a really effective ending. Definitely worth watching this film if you get the chance. Thanks for watching. See you next time.